I think this cereal was only sold in Canada. Do you guys recognize it?
Cornflakes?
Corn. It's pretty common, I think.
I think they have this in the U.S. too.
I just realized people from work are going to see this.
Well, let me ask you, like, I noticed you got a collection, pretty big collection of movies here, some of which are not Star Trek movies. Now, sibling rivalry starring Kirstie Alley, that's the connection? Kirstie Alley's in it?
Oh, that is a good connection. But Scott Bakula is in it also. Oh, that's a bottle of Dom Perignon.
Because they smashed it in Generations.
That's correct. I just happen to have a bottle, so it goes in the Star Trek room.
What's the biggest stretch for Star Trek memorabilia that you have? Like,
It's hard to say.
how often do you make things up as being Star Trek memorabilia?
Well, I think that
What's the connection with
Dom.
this?
I think that Dom Perignon is the farthest stretch. Although Picard on the horse is kind of a stretch.
Yeah, let's see that.
Alright.
Because the horse was not sold as a Star Trek toy.
What's the horse from?
Actually, my niece was into horses, and I bought an extra one when I bought one for her.
And what is it for?
It makes a neighing noise.
No, but why is he riding it?
Oh, it's from the movie Generations.
So you wanted to faithfully recreate that scene.
Yes.
Now, here's an interesting book,
Oh yeah.
the Encyclopedia Shatnerica.
Yeah, and it was published in 1998, so you can imagine how thick it would be now if they brought out a revised edition. It has everything that William Shatner has ever done since up to 1998.
I'm a rocket man. Rocket man.
Alright, well, thanks a lot for showing us your collection here, Darth Nameless. I feel very enlightened and very jealous, actually, of everything that you've acquired over the years. And hopefully you keep collecting.
Well, I'd just like to say that I'm growing up now and packing all this stuff away.
No, you're not.
Well, let's talk about, when it comes to Star Wars, I think, the way that it's penetrated pop culture is pretty powerful. Like, everybody knows Luke, I am your father. Everyone knows, the story. Like, very few people I think you'll find. I mean, there are some people who haven't seen Star Wars, but the vast majority of people have seen Star Wars or at least understand the story. Star Trek, I think, is a little bit more arcane to a lot of people. It's kind of one of those things that just not a lot of people understand. There's a lot of techno babble in there. I think, in some ways it has a little bit more of a limited audience. Agree? Disagree?
Well, I mean, use the Force has kind of entered the vernacular of everybody everywhere, but so is Beam Me Up.
So as live long and prosper.
Yeah.
And engage and make it so.
And Earl Grey hot. Well, one thing we had discussed previously was the fact that Gene Roddenberry was an atheist.
Humanist.
Socialist.
Explain what is the difference? What was Gene Roddenberry?
Well, he was a humanist. If you want a definition of humanism, I'm sorry I can't give it to you.
Maybe we can let's check an outside source on
Don't
humanism.
Stop.
One of these has to work.
Seriously.
Greg, can you just grab the personal computer right there?
No. No.
Okay.
We need a definition on humanism.
I mean, even if you pit the Star Trek movies versus the Star Wars movies and completely ignore the TV episodes, I think that Star Trek gives Star Wars a pretty good run for its money.
I disagree.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because out of all 10 Star Trek movies, I'm going to go on a limb and say maybe 2 are worthwhile.
Well,
All right.
Which two?
Wrath of Khan and Part 6.
Leaving out the
No
best one,
Voyage Home?
Part 4.
Part 4 is not the best one.
And I will even go as far as to say that in the newer Star Trek movies, First Contact was pretty decent, I thought.
This is why I would prefer Star Wars, or why I do prefer Star Wars. Growing up, the original trilogy still is one of the coolest things in my childhood, and I can still sit and watch those movies over and over again, even though I know Return of the Jedi isn't that great as I once thought it was. And as far as the new ones, yeah, they're not excellent, and they don't really live up to the original trilogy, but there are some good points. The pod race in the Phantom Menace is still one of the coolest things I've ever watched in a movie before. It was very well done. And I mean, Star Wars it's kind of the cooler of the geek things. You know, Harrison Ford as Han Solo and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi right now. They're cool characters, and kids actually, really like those characters. And you don't see too many kids nowadays or people who think, Spock was cool. Then he still got Darth Vader and Boba Fett, two of the coolest villains as well. So what is the final verdict?
For me, got to go with Star Trek. I'm sick of the Star Wars references. I'm sick of, people worshiping George Lucas. I mean, the guy's got, a vision, but, for what he's done recently, he's turned, basically he's turned the franchise into a kiddie plaything. And, maybe that's what it was always supposed to be. But for me, Star Trek is a little more mature, a little more intelligent. Guess my vote.
Maybe you could use your voice changer to say your vote.
Darth Nameless.
Turn it on. Can I?
I don't think it's on.
I don't
though.
think it's on.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Can I sit on the fence and say that both series will live on into the future?
I don't think so.
There's no fencing allowed in
There's
versus.
no pushing.
Okay, I'll choose Star Wars.
Say it again.
Star Wars!
Star Wars?
The closet Trekkie just chose Star Wars?
I love Star Trek. I love Star Trek. You made me change my mind.
Okay.
So that's 1 Star Trek, 2 Star Wars. Jay?
I'm going to go Star Trek.
Yay!
So really this versus battle didn't solve anything.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to the viewers out there. You have to decide: Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Why do you swear when I choose Star Wars?
Because it's stupid.
You're stupid. Asshole.
Can I change my vote?
Too late, unfortunately. That about wraps it up.
We'll let the viewers decide what your vote is.
Thanks for watching this week's Versus. Be sure to tune in next week for another great battle, and visit us on the web at www.filmjunk.com.
Wars?
That was probably unintelligible.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late.